Hey guys, welcome back to the Wright State Guardian's podcast, Off the Record. I'm your co-host and editor-in-chief, Kylee Lairmore.
And I'm your co-host and social media manager, Macie Allen. And today joining us, we have WWSU's sports director, Cam Jones, and assistant sports director, Dakota Tinkle. Welcome to Off the Record, guys.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good, how are y'all?
Hello.
We got that in one shot. We did, that was great.
Hey, well, thank you for joining us today. First, if you guys want to talk a little bit about your positions at the radio station. You're handing it off to your assistant?
Yeah.
He doesn't answer questions himself.
Well, again, I'm Cameron Jones. I'm the sports director, and basically what I do, I call basically all the live games here at Wright State, whatever's on the schedule and stuff. And yeah, that's basically all that I do, and it's a fun job to have.
As the assistant sports director, I'm basically a mini director in a sense. I do pretty much the same things that Cam does, only just slightly a little bit different. I help more with running the committee more than anything.
Yeah.
And for the people that are watching that maybe don't know sports as well or Macie, what can you guys explain calling the game and kind of what goes into that?
So...
It's a serious question. She's probably
okay.
doesn't know.
I did not know.
I figured she didn't.
Oh yeah, but I'll take you step by step. So basically, what I do first is basically putting games on the schedule. Basically, like for example, if it's a basketball game, like us versus Oakland or Green Bay or whatever, I just put that on the schedule, and then we get set times, and then we see who's calling the game. We have 7 people on the committee, including myself. Basically get whoever's calling the game. Basically, we have equipment, headset and stuff. We carry 2 briefcases. Basically, just take it to the game. We set up. We usually have stats in the back, and we usually go and get those. We read over it, and basically, we have a pregame show. A bit jumbled sometimes, but we make it work. But we basically just do that. We talk about like our thoughts about the game, like what we want to see, what there's a potential for, and basically, just call the game. And then at the end, we do like a post-game show. We talk about like our thoughts. We talk about what we saw and what we're looking ahead to the next matchup and stuff like that. And I accidentally skipped the halftime. We do a halftime show, basically the stoppage in between the game and talking about like what we saw at halftime, what we're looking maybe in the next half or something like that. So, yeah.
And since we're on the radio versus TV where you're actually able to visually see everything that goes on, one of the biggest factors of the radio sports industry is play-by-play. You announce the play because your words are the way that they see the entire court, because they don't have the visual aspect of it. So that is very important. Plus, you also have color commentary, which is typically stats, reactions, specific to certain players on the field.
Okay.
Yeah, and what I do is play-by-play. I'm basically calling, like, for basketball, for instance, he passes the ball to the right corner. This guy's driving to the basket, or this guy just made a 3, and calling out the players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we usually do a switch off is what we implemented into the game. Like, I do play-by-play for a half, he does play-by-play for a half, and then I switch to color, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
And so how long have each of you been at the radio station?
So this is actually my first year doing it.
Did you start in August?
Yeah.
I didn't take up the position officially until later. Mine is more of a volunteer position, not necessarily one granted by the university. Mm-hmm. But my very first semester with the radio station itself was spring of 24, so I'm a hunk. But
a veteran, I see.
Yes.
Fine, perfect.
So do you guys want to talk about like what made you want to join the radio station, or what made you want to join like sports in particular? Anything in that realm?
It's actually a very exciting story. So my grandfather, he worked for Channel 2, and that was part of the Dayton Dragons. So before I started college, I ended up, I was able to job shadow at the Dragons in the press box, in the booth, yeah. So one of the famous, Jack Tull is his name, and then his other partner, I forget his name. But yeah, I got to go up there, see what it's like calling a baseball game and stuff like that. But not really in the baseball, but it was just an experience, like getting over the mic and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, this might be something I'm really interested in. So I ended up choosing Wright State because of that. But yeah, that's one of my biggest memories I've had.
I always watched TV growing up, listening to sports announcers. I also really listened to the voice of Dayton, Larry Hanskin, who is a huge sports announcer for UD around here. He used to do a lot of other teams as well, however, has specialized in UD now. I found a love for sports really throughout my teenage years. I was a late bloomer to sports. I didn't really get interested until my teens, when most people find that interest in their later childhood aspect. But I always said that is a job I want to do. And throughout high school, I geared towards going chemistry pre-med was my original degree path here, because I always was like, being a doctor is more realistic. This isn't a real job opportunity. Yeah. And then I came to the radio station and found that I was lying to myself in high school. This is a real job,
for sure,
career path that I can take, and I'm excited because now I have that opportunity to go down that path.
This definitely wasn't my first option. Because I wanted to be a basketball player and a bowler. I'm on the bowling team for Wright State, so I thought they had an actual professional team. But then once I saw that, I was like, yeah, I definitely want to pursue commentating, because I like talking about what's going on the court.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Okay. What are your favorite sports to call?
Mine by far is basketball, and my very first game that I called was volleyball. I really started loving volleyball after that, but those are my two top sports to call.
I haven't had much experience in calling. I've only done club football and basketball. If I had to choose one, it would be basketball, just because of the wonderful experience that we've had this year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
For sure.
All right.
Foreshadow.
Yeah. What are your favorite parts about working at the radio station?
Oh yeah, I would say just getting to like meet new people and stuff like that. Working with different people, as again the committee, just working with different people, getting to know other voices, not just basically just the same old voices, you know. But it's just a great vibe to be around, and just a great experience to have in the future.
I really have two, but I'm going to keep it short, and I'm not going to ramble. My first one is the connections that we have built, having the opportunity to go to the Horizon League tournament. We met a couple of cool guys there that are not from Wright State or anything, but are part of the Horizon League itself. So being able to make those connections outside of just the university that we attend is really cool. And the second one is it's a really cool creative outlet. I get to talk about something that I really love, like sports, while doing it in a format that I want, while talking about it the way that I want to, and having that creative opportunity to form my own opinions and get the information out there.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one for sure. But not everything is positive. So what are your least favorite parts about working at the radio station?
Definitely communication, but I mentioned like fixing a reputation. Like when I first came in, things were kind of rough, and I just had to build that foundation within others to make sure that we're trustworthy and that we do what we got to do to just produce.
For me, it's a little bit more of communication within our own organization. Sometimes it's really rough because some people don't particularly like that on the radio sports broadcasts do get priority. over shows. So any shows that go on during the time of a sports broadcast don't get to air that day or time slot. So communicating the fact that we have a responsibility to do, and the fact that we might have higher priority over someone else, it's kind of difficult.
Okay. So I know both of you guys came in to college. I know you knew what you wanted to do, but you maybe didn't. So how did the radio station help transform what you wanted to do and kind of like help that path?
I would definitely say it helped me a lot of getting out of my comfort zone, because when I was younger, I was just a shy person, never wanted to go out the house, never wanted to do anything. So just basically, I call it the shell. So basically getting out of my shell, meeting new people, improving my talking skills and communication and stuff. I feel like that's really helped me come a long way.
For me, in high school, I was a performing arts kid, a lot of choir bands, drama club, and coming into college, being the major that I was, STEM is not something where you get a lot of time. You're really stuck in your lab or the library or asleep. And I was really struggling my very first semester. My second semester, I was a part of a fraternity, and one of my fraternity brothers said, "Hey, come down to the radio station sometime." And we went down to the radio station. I met with former general manager Bella Skank, and I found out that this is a place that really interested me. And as I said earlier, there was a wanting for sports broadcasting, but I never had the opportunity to, because I felt it was an impossible career. And just even being in that radio station completely switched my mindset to be, I'm not happy with STEM. I'm going to pursue something that I have always wanted.
Well, that I was also a STEM major coming in.
I know, I love this
And
pipeline that's happening
is,
with
yeah.
so many of you.
And I think it's such a awesome thing when you actually figure out that like the thing that you do love can
Be a career,
actually,
and you're gonna make it happen.
And you don't have to force yourself to take science classes.
So, what are some like core memories or accomplishments that stick out to you guys the most from your experience at the radio station?
Probably besides what we're gonna talk about later.
Oh yes, besides all the March Madness fun stuff that happened.
For me, there was a time where I hit a peak on my. There was a time I hit my peak in both my music show and my sports show. Traditionally, with the equipment that we have, we're not able to see the listeners on the radio and the amount of radio listeners that we have. But as we broadcast our radio signal to an online server to where anyone can get it, we're able to see how many people are tuning into the media server. And traditionally, those numbers stay pretty low, usually around 5 to 7. But there was a time where one of my sports shows, I hit a peak of almost 16. Wow. And though it might seem small number-wise, when it is that small, the growth seems huge.
Yeah.
I always get excited when I get the automated message for this show and the numbers are above like 7. I'm like, yay, we have an 8th listener today. And it's exciting.
I would definitely say that one of them was from March Madness. I'm not going to talk about that yet. We'll talk about it when we foreshadow to that. But I would definitely say like the community members we've had, because I know over the past couple of years we have struggled in getting people to be interested in the radio station, being interested in sports just as a whole. So just having 7 people on with us, it's such a big blessing and honor for us to have.
I know, like that happens with us too. Like I feel like we now have a team where people like are so dedicated and show the passion. So
Yeah.
that definitely makes a big change when the people around you share the same passion and want for everything else to go well. Then it just amplifies everything else. And
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, the whole entire organization benefits. So that's great for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can actually talk about the bulk of this episode, March Madness, and our trip there. So for those of you who don't know, both Cam, Dakota, and myself, and then Brooklyn, who's on 2 episodes ago,
Yes.
we went to Delaware. We went so far as we went to Delaware, not even where the game was going. So, who wants to start us out?
Well, I think it should be the person that got us to Delaware that should explain why we were in Delaware when the game was in Pennsylvania. So we had gotten halfway through as rental cars work. There, only 2 of us were above the age of 21, so only 2 of us were able to drive there. Me and Brooklyn are the only 2 above that age, so we were the only 2 allowed to drive the rental car. Well, it's an 8-hour trip. Brooklyn took about the first half of it, maybe a little bit more, and I had taken over at the stop of a gas station. We typed in the address.
You typed in it.
I typed in the address. Correct address, mind you. It was the exact same address. But I figured we're in Pennsylvania already. They should just put me to the one in Philly, right?
Oh boy.
There was the exact number and street in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh my god.
And because it was closer, it was the first option, and I didn't think to look. And I'm very not an observant person, so the entire time we went down into Maryland.
You were like, why are there so many Maryland plates?
Yeah.
I might have said that a couple times.
I mean, nobody noticed by the time you were like, oh, I messed up. We were 30 minutes away from that Baltimore location.
No.
And we were fully in Maryland, and nobody had caught on, so.
Yeah, to be fair, this was like middle of the evening, and a lot of us were tired.
Yeah.
So Cam was like dozing in and out in my passenger seat. I couldn't see Brooklyn, but I know you were dozing out a good amount. So
I was out.
there weren't necessarily people awake to realize my mistake.
No.
And then I successfully did get us to Philadelphia after we basically went to Maryland, but that also took us all the way through Delaware as well.
Yeah.
Oh my
And Delaware is
goodness
not like
gracious.
a drive-through state. Like, you only really go to Delaware because you're going to
going to
Delaware.
Oh boy.
It was I've never been to Delaware, so thanks to you, I can say I have been in Delaware. That was it was a good time though.
Yeah.
And we did make fun of him the whole trip, so.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
did
they're
get
not
to.
gonna let that one go.
No. Yeah, it was really funny. So, do you guys want to talk about, like, the experience that you had maybe before the game began? So, leading up to it. You can talk about really anything if you want to talk about getting the credentials or doing research for it.
Credentials was a hassle, not gonna lie. The research, I'll say on the record, we didn't do much of it.
Okay.
We just had what we had in front. I think we still did pretty good for what we had in front of us. But the experience, I mean, I saw, when I first walked into the arena, I mean, I saw places I never saw, like a Shake Shack. I'd never seen that. I was like, we're actually inside Xfinity Mobile Arena. This is where the Philadelphia 76ers play, you know? So, I mean, just being there, and also that little lounge place that we sat in, that was a great vibe, as well as we did our research and stuff like that. But I'll let you go more in depth about that as well.
Well, one thing I do want to touch on is we did get to do the Horizon League before this.
Oh yeah, that's what.
We had an individual trip, me and Cam, up to Indianapolis. So I figured that the Philadelphia trip wasn't going to be too much different from the Indianapolis trip, but it really was in a lot of ways, as it was a lot more battened down, shall I say. Like, when the NCAA is involved, it's a lot of work from everyone involved, and it is a lot of stuff that they're all trying to get together all at once. So going into Philadelphia, I figured it was going to be a little bit more just like we go and do what we're told, which it necessarily wasn't really like that. We had the opportunity to do a few things individualistic and do what we wanted to do and how we wanted to make the trip. I remember specifically involving the research. I had done minimal research on the opposing team, Virginia, going in, but I really got the opportunity when the four of us went in, sat down at the media credential spot, and we just sat there for, I think it was close to 3 hours. Just sat there, talked, did research, did some work, put notes to the grindstone to get the best information that we could.
Yeah, but with the Indiana trip, it was way easier. It was basically when you got the credentials, you're like, hey, this is what you need to do, this is where you need to park, this is where you need to be, bam, you're done. With the NCAA, I felt like you had to jump through way more hoops just to get there, and it wasn't really planned out great, because I just remember that I get a text message from my general manager saying like, hey, put your credentials in, you're going to Philadelphia. I was like, whoa, pump the brakes a little bit, what is going on, you know? So and I'm getting all of that done, and I'm like, okay, I'm not just going alone, right? I need to find someone to help me out. So I ended up texting Dakota and like, hey, this is what's going on in very little time. We only had a week to figure basically everything out. So it was just such a stressful week.
Yeah.
The most stressful I've ever been probably in my life.
Yeah. And it wasn't even a full week either. Like, we left that Thursday morning, and we didn't even have a time we were going to be leaving until Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah, it was very, I don't want to say, no, it was poorly planned. I will go ahead and say that. It was definitely a little rough, which I don't think that either of us have really been able to, either of our organizations been able to do that in a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, nobody really knew what they were doing. So that was kind of a part of it, but
I mean, this is one of the greatest opportunities, and especially for my first year, like going back to the Indy trip, I never expected us to go there. And what I wanted to mention earlier about one of my biggest accomplishments, we had 31 people tune in to us listening, because it's more worldwide in Indianapolis. Great. So that was such an amazing thing for us, and I think we had a pretty good time there when calling the game and stuff. And we actually had a good spot as well. It was parallel to the court, not like high up. You can only see one end, you know. But we'll go into more of that in a little bit. But I feel like the spot that we were in was really good.
You can go ahead and segue into that if you want. Just covering the game itself. And
do you want to add on to that?
Or
I think it's proper time to move into the game itself.
Yeah.
One thing I did really enjoy was, I know seating was a mess for us, as we thought we were going to get more courtside seating, but really only Brooklyn was able to get the courtside seating. We had the media ring up top, and there's a little bit of a pro and con that came with that. I noticed for me specifically, I don't have the greatest eyesight. I could see everything develop on the court a lot, but especially with the numbers, specifically number 28 for Virginia, Tice DeRitter, and number 30 for Virginia, Darren Hall. I was mixing up a lot because they were the numbers just looked so similar to me from up top there. I think it was a great vantage point to see how each play broke down and how motion on the court moved. But it was a little tough reading, but there was a Jumbotron for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was sometimes difficult when they were playing a replay and the game was still happening. But
Especially since it's also March Madness, so there's a bunch of games going on at once. So I remember the shot that took Santa Clara into overtime with Kentucky. The entire crowd lit up, and we were like, what just happened? Because that was during a time where there was timeout for a flagrant, the potential for a flagrant call to be called. And we were like, did they announce it and we missed it? No, they just hit an amazing shot to send Santa Clara, Kentucky into overtime, and they showed it on the Jumbotron. So that crowd was absolutely electric, one of the most insane feelings, especially compared to the Nutter Center. No offense to the Nutter Center. Great crowds. Go out to the basketball games, please. But it was a way different experience.
For sure.
It was.
do you want to add anything onto that?
Well, I mean, yeah, just the crowd atmosphere, just to add on to that point, it was the best crowd that I've been around. And again, we don't get that many opportunities like this, and I feel like we did an amazing job of following basketball. We called basically 100% of women's and men's basketball games, and the teams that we followed most closely. And I'm really happy going into next year on improving that. And we were talking about getting like more interviews and doing stuff like that so we can follow them even closer and seeing like, oh, what have they improved on? Has this player like improved their game? Are they going to bring another facet to next season or something like that? And getting to know everyone else better. So I'm really excited for that.
Awesome. Besides being kind of far, pretty far from the court, were there any other mishaps or complications, and besides going to Delaware, that happened while covering the game, or like things that you had to, I know I was with you for half of it, but I don't know what happened in that other half.
I will say our quality was cutting in and out.
Really?
Not having dominant Wi-Fi, it kind of got to us a little bit. People couldn't hear when we were speaking, but other than that, I liked it. I loved it.
One of the more difficult things, not necessarily for the game itself, but for the listening experience. I know with the way that the NCAA media rights rules go, we weren't able to broadcast it onto the media server. So you actually had to be in radius of the radio tower to be able to pull the FM signal, which it is a smaller station. We don't get that big of a area of effect.
Yeah.
So it was really difficult to deal with the idea of that, especially because people like my grandparents and my parents who don't live close enough to the radio tower signal enough can still tune in and catch my shows on the media server. But this big, giant experience for me wasn't really able to be shared with the people I care about the most.
Yeah, 100%. My mom did end up listening as well, and a couple of my parents did get that signal, but I was like, hey, you have to be in the vehicle. You have to be able to have that FM signal in the car, actual radio. But that was a big down part of it, but other than that, we made it work.
Yep. I was also on the radio for half of the game, which was very unplanned. But my computer, well, first off, I didn't have a seat with Brooklyn either. What are you saying, Sam?
Nothing.
Okay. I saw you do something.
No.
I didn't have a seat courtside either, so my plan was to write during the game, write updates, that kind of thing, but the night before my computer decided to stop working, and would not turn on. And I tried like some different chargers. I tried Brooklyn's charger, my own charger, did not work, and so it just took a really extended nap. Did not work that morning. And so I was kind of, when I wasn't courtside, at least, like, I was thinking, okay, not a big deal. Brooklyn will write, and I'll edit on her computer, just because, so 2 people were seeing it, and then I'll take photos. Yeah, was not able to do any of that. First off, separated from Brooklyn, and then second off, in the rafters up there. So I looked at them and I was like, can I help with anything? Like, I feel like I'm going to be useful. So they stuck me on the radio in the game, and I felt like I sounded really stupid the entire time. Even though I know basketball, but I was like, I couldn't see very well either, and I was mispronouncing people's names.
Inexperience sometimes will do that, but for your first time doing sports broadcasting on the radio, it really truly wasn't all that bad as you think it was. It was actually pretty good.
It was.
With your basketball knowledge, you were able to provide a lot of interesting insight that we don't usually get to have, other than Cam, as was not a basketball player, to say the least. But
look at that.
It was it was a little rocky just because of inexperience, but
and also that was our first time having 3 people on the broadcast, so trying to incorporate, making sure you had time to talk, all of us.
That's a lot for sure.
I know my dad was mad. He listens to a lot of sports radio, and then my brother calls all the high school games for Fairmont, and he's like in the sports media CTC, and they were mad like that I didn't tell them like the channel. I wouldn't tell them, and I was like, I am not about to be roasted all the rest of like my life for anything I say up there. They would have made fun of me so hard for saying, how do you pronounce his name on air? But like I didn't know. But so they'll live though. But
and it's not like that was your intended plan to
I would have been a lot more prepared had I know. But then I did leave during halftime, and went down to the court and stole someone's spot that did not show up. And was able to get some good photos, but I did get lost at halftime. I don't think I told you guys that. I did not get down to Brooklyn until like 3 minutes into the game, and I left like right after our halftime show. I got very lost. I don't know how, but I did. You can't have me go alone anywhere. So those were my only mishaps and complications. Other than that, I think we got really great content, and I think we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of good laughs with going to Delaware. But So did the game, I know we kind of talked a little bit about how we thought the game was going to turn out. Did it turn out how you guys thought? Were you surprised?
I am very surprised, and I like the outside crowd. They were really hyping up Wright State against Virginia, saying that we had a shot. A couple YouTubers were saying, definitely pick Wright State. They might have a slim chance. And the way they came out shooting, I mean, Michael Amari Bay, he made 5 threes. He only made 1 3 on the year, and he ended up making 5. And when he made his first one, I looked over at Dakota. I'm like, actually, this guy just made a 3, And but and the way that we were able to keep pace, it was just those final 4 minutes that things ended up slipping up. But I'm happy how we hung around with them.
It definitely made for a great game.
But it doesn't help. They basically had a sniper. I mean, they're Jakari White for Virginia. He scored 26 points. He made 7 threes. I mean, you can't do nothing about that.
Crazy on it. How was the watch party?
The watch party was like crazy. I honestly, a lot more people showed up than I thought. It was like a pretty good crowd, and everyone was very, very committed. And like going into it, I feel like a lot of people were just like, like they were just there because obviously it's Wright State. And then as as it's going, you can just see like the audience is like anticipation get like more and more, and they're like, oh my gosh, like I think we might have a chance to like win this thing. Like everyone's like positivity, it was going up. I have so many videos of like, another thing that was fun too is I was there with Britt, and because of like the Wi-Fi and bad connections over there, like Brooklyn was trying to give live updates for the articles, but it wasn't going through. So
we were having problems with
yeah,
that. Yeah.
so then Brooklyn had to text Britt what was happening to update the article, but you guys were ahead of the watch party. So by like a few seconds, it was a delay or whatever. So me and Britt would sit there, and all of a sudden Britt's phone would go off, and she would go, oh my god, like this person scored a 3, like get out your phone. And so I would like go and like grab my phone to film like the entire, and then like 5 seconds later the entire audience watching is just like jumping up, screaming like, yeah, it was crazy. So like having that delay was kind of fun too. I felt like an inside spy being like, I know what's gonna happen. But then like as it got to the end, I remember Britt texted Brooklyn and was like, is it over for you guys? Like did anything happen?
Did they win somehow in the last seconds?
But yeah, the watch party was definitely good. I'm glad I went. I had a lot of fun. Got some good content with that. Britt won the raffle. On one of the raffle prizes, they did like a few different raffle prizes, literally just for showing up and checking in. And then she won like this puzzle thing. But yeah, it was a good time.
Good. Yeah. So, your brackets as well. I know. Did you both have 2 brackets?
Yeah.
How are they going?
So it was kind of funny because we basically had the same 2 brackets. We both made a funny one with Wright State going all the way, and then we both had the Houston Cougars winning. They went out in the, I believe, the Sweet 16. But my bracket was over after the first game. It happens every single year. It was Ohio State versus TCU. Ohio State almost had a comeback. They weren't able to pull it off, and basically all the Ohio teams lost. Miami of Ohio lost, we lost, and Ohio State lost the very first day, so, yeah.
Darn.
Of the 48 first games, I had only gotten, I think, about 8 wrong.
Oh, wow.
Which is a really good number, and then all of a sudden the Sweet 16 rolls around, and it became a bloodbath for my bracket. It was red X's almost all the way down. The Elite 8, I had 2 teams correct that went to the Elite 8. I have 1 team correct in the Final 4 currently. I didn't have a single number 1 seed going to the Final 4. Michigan and Arizona are both in there currently, both number 1 seeds. I didn't have Illinois in there. I had UConn in there. That is the only one that I actually have in the Final 4.
My Final 4 features 3 out of the 4 teams. I have Arizona and Michigan. I know you were kind of dissing on Michigan earlier on, but the basketball team is really good. I have UConn in there as well. I did have Kansas, but Kansas was never great against St. John's. They ended up taking them out, basically beating them to death defensively. But it was the second day my bracket was basically cooked. I had a lot of teams wrong. My first day was pretty solid, so.
What's been your favorite favorite game to watch so far out of all of them, besides Wright State? Because that should be your favorite, but besides that one.
Are you talking about specifically for March Madness?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have my answer already. It's Duke.
Sure.
It's Duke UConn.
Okay.
It is not
Okay.
close. It is Duke UConn. Duke up at 15 at halftime. Comes down all the way. The last 5 minutes, it becomes a really close game, and it comes down to quite literally the last minute of play, where they were trading off shots. A couple fouls happened for free throws. All of a sudden, Duke has the ball, up 1. With like 25 seconds left.
Yeah, 20, yeah.
They inbound. The inbound pass gets blocked by a UConn player, gets the steal, takes it, insanely deep 3, logo 3 from
Mullins.
Mullins for the game winner to put them above Duke, 73-72. It was an absolute electric ending, and it was a collapse for Duke that I haven't seen before, which I will always be happy when Duke collapses.
It was definitely that one, but I do have another one. It was Iowa and the Florida Gators. The way they took out the defending champs. I believe it was defensive possession. I disagree with how Florida played it. It was stupid. But they ended up running kind of like a football route to get their guard open. And then basically one of their defenders was put in a picture poison. Either stop the line to the basket or stop the three-point line. So he chose to stop the line to the basket, basically kicked it out to Fuller Garris, and he made a clutch three. And I really like his story a lot because his father ended up passing away, and he ended up pointing up to the sky and basically getting that game winner, and that meant a lot. I love that story a lot. And also with his mother, that was his mother's third time watching them of all time and making them, or seeing him make a clutch shot like that.
Aww,
it was
so
really
sweet.
great. It was a really great moment. So.
That is a great moment. And then we got some disappointing, but I think expected news of everybody entering the transfer portal, Mr. Cooper and Birch. So I know we were kind of discussing earlier that you guys were hoping but expected it. So how are you feeling?
This is why I was worried pretty much all March Madness. But I was thinking in my mind the way that we closed out that game and with how Quinn Sargent is, it would influence other people. We talked about TJ Birch today. We're not going to go into all of that, but it was kind of expected with him, and also with Cooper is kind of slim. Also with Callahan, we're talking about, but he is staying. But it is sad. I mean, we're losing two primary ball handlers. We didn't really have that outside of those two. So we're going to see what Coach Quinn Sargent in athletics does within the portal. We're actually interviewing Coach Quinn Sargent and Mari Bay tomorrow on Dakota's show. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
What time?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Yeah. So, I mean, that would be awesome.
What am I doing at 1 o'clock?
But yeah, it's a.
Tuning in.
It's a sad thing. Dakota will definitely go into more in depth about it, but I'll just be shallow and just say that.
I think Wright State is going to have an interesting off-season, to say the less.
Yeah.
Birch winning all of those awards with the Horizon League. He was Defensive Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, all defensive team, and all Horizon League first team, and he played absolutely lights out this season. So I figured if anyone was going to leave, I think it would be TJ Birch. It's an unfortunate thing that occurs for us, but I can't say I didn't expect it. And with Michael Cooper, I had 3 objectives for the athletics. Keep Kellen Pickett, make him happy because he was a great freshman for the basketball team to build around in the big side of things. Keep Coach Sargent happy. He is one of the most trustworthy coaches in my opinion. I said it in the car ride. You may or may not remember this, but Coach Sargent to me is a rare coach. Usually you'll have an offensive-minded coach or a defensive-minded coach.
Yep.
And to me, Coach Sargent is one of those coaches that's like, screw that. Let's be great at both. Mm-hmm. And that's something rare to see. And I think he is going to be essential to this Wright State program and keep Michael Cooper happy. And unfortunately, he will be entering the transfer portal for this season. And not only that, we are losing a lot of players due to graduation as well. Mm-hmm. Brian Atumu, Samuel Amutu,
Logan
Woods, and Michael Amari Bay, all leaving due to graduation. is also going to hurt the program a lot. But I believe in Coach Sargent to make this bounce back.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we transition to exiting?
Well, other than just tuning in to WWSU 106.9 FM, Fairmore, Dayton's right choice. On Mondays from 3 to 4:30 is Raider Sports Talk with Cameron Jones.
I allegedly have a show. It's very spotty as I've been really hampered with a lot of things in my life recently. So it is spotty. Usually I do host Ball Talk on Wednesdays 1 to 2, sometimes longer. And we are currently in the midst of baseball season. So any baseball games that we have at home in Nischwich Stadium will be broadcast on WWSU, barring some games that we're not able to make.
Yeah. Awesome. Yes, tune in on there during sports games, and then afterwards you can go to the Guardian and read Brooklyn's recap of it.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
okay.
And also tomorrow, just mentioning again, the interview with our head coach of the year, or Clinton Sargent, and also Marco Amaribe at 1 o'clock with me and Dakota.
Okay, perfect. This will not be up by then, but
No, it's fine. No, I understand, but why not?
All right, so as a way to kind of do our little exit, we always start with a high and the low of the day. So I'll start with I always think about these. I love Tuesdays because I'm like clocking things as they happen. Like, this is going to be my high on the podcast. So I guess I'll start with my low. So my low today was honestly, okay, I went to Ray Ray and I got a drink and that was not good. I'm not going to say what it was. I feel bad bringing it up.
What was it?
Do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Okay, it was a matcha. And I just have a rough time with Ray Ray matcha. I'm sorry. And it just wasn't good. So it kind of made me really sad. But then...
Sorry, Sumega.
No, I feel so bad because we had her on. But to counteract that, my high of the day, I went out with Julia, our news editor, to film content for an upcoming article she's writing about a opening of a Chick-fil-A, like basically on campus. So we went and filmed some like fun little TikToks for that, and then afterwards went to Starbucks, so I got my drink redemption for the day. So that was
Even though
nice.
it looked disgusting.
She's always judging my drinks, guys. It was a pink drink with cold foam. It was nothing crazy.
You do not
Sam!
mix. Yeah, you don't mix a fruity drink with cold
No,
foam.
you can you can.
And then the cold foam drips down into the drink and curdleizes. It curdles. It's disgusting.
I will say the one I had yesterday did look gross, but this one today was not that bad. It was pink. It was pretty.
Cam, it's your turn.
Does yesterday count? I had a lot of lows.
Yeah, go ahead. A lot of lows.
Well,
Go for it.
not like that.
Yeah,
But, apparently, I was on my way to the gym. I left here, went home to get ready to go hoop with the boys. But then my boss ends up calling me, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm getting ready to go to the gym, hoop with the boys. Why?" And he was like, "You know you're on the schedule, right?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" Because we have this app called When to Work to fill out your own schedule, and then if you don't fill in, he puts the paper out, and then you fill in your name on the sheets that you can work. So apparently I filled in my name for yesterday, and he's like, "You're 30 minutes late, right?" And I'm like,
Nope.
"Oh crap." I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there." But we got that all sorted out. It was probably a write-up, but it's all good.
Oh.
But yeah, that was kind of rough. But one of my highs, I mean, probably just today. I didn't do much, but just talking to Dakota about our future with the radio station and also with the basketball team, because we love basketball. So, and also being on here. I mean, thank you guys for bringing us on.
Yeah, of
I was
course.
excited. So.
Yes,
Hey,
us
thanks
too.
for coming on.
Yeah. Dakota.
My high of the day was really this block of time necessarily. At 3:30, I have a class with one of my favorite professors, Dr. Yee.
I love him.
And
Shout out.
I'm taking intercultural communication with him, and that goes from 3:30 until 4:50. So there was a time there where I got to have a class with my favorite professor, and then I got to come down here and talk about what I love the most, which is media and sports media. So it was a great block of time. The low for the day was early in the morning, because I got here around 10:30ish, and Tuesday is a day that everything is dead. So I went into the esports room, decided to see who was in there. No one was in there. Went to the radio station to see who was in there. No one was in there. Went to SIL to see who was in SIL. Everyone was either busy or not there. So it was very low energy, dead early in the day, so I didn't really get to talk to anyone in the early morning. But it picked up later, so.
Okay. I'll end us out. My low. I should have been thinking, sorry. I'm too much of an active listener.
It's a good thing.
My low was probably just that I've had like a back-to-back-to-back day and really haven't had too much of a break. And I'm doing SOBC for the Guardian right now, and that is just like, I was expecting to be done with it today, but then like I swear there's too many questions, so not done with that yet. But I just wish they would just give us money, then we didn't have to fill out all this. Then my high of the day is that after this, my brother plays for. You were laughing. You thought I was about to say dinner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, I don't know what I'm going to eat today, but it's always food. I was going to talk about my sushi that I had earlier, but then I thought I should be different today. I always say my dinner is going to be my high. But after this, no, I'm going to Kingdom, because my brother played in like a fun rec league with all of his friends who are like retired basketball players. They're all like 18, but who used to play for the high school team, and who like, I always do the book growing up for their games, and so I know all of them. But they did that rec league, and then it ended when basketball season ended, but now they're doing a Kingdom League with like actual competition and not just like everybody at the Kettering Rec. So I'm excited to go do the book for that, because that's one of my favorite things. It makes me feel important.
I'll just say I love Kingdom. Kingdom is a great place to play basketball at. My stepbrother played there, so yeah.
It's rough to play there because of all of the whistles at the same time.
Yeah, minus that, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But everything else, it's great to watch basketball there, because if the game, like my dad sometimes, if the game was like going bad, he would like walk over and see the other like and like in between tournaments, because there would be obviously like some tournaments where you're playing at 9 a.m. and then you don't play again until like 4 p.m. And so we would stay there and like go between games, but yeah, I love Kingdom. But.
All right. And on that note, this is your sign to read the G and watch off the record, which you're doing now, so good job. And also, listen to WWSU 106.9 FM. Always. They plugged their shows earlier. But also, audio format of our episodes go up every Friday at 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And then video format of this episode will be up on YouTube, the Wright State Guardian, at 6:30 p.m. every Monday. So
yeah, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, and we have a lot of open roles on Handshake. I forgot the name. But we have our news editor position, managing editor, multimedia producer, multimedia editor, and web and layout manager, all open. So go view those or be an intern.
Yes.
Be a contributor. Come be
Yes.
our friends.
Come be an intern.
Okay. And we will see you next week.
And we are off the record. Bye.